All right, today we are going to be looking at the superficial and deep hind limb muscles, and we are going to bounce a little bit back and forth between the medial view, which we're looking at right now. This is the belly, the abdomen of the cat, and this would be the medial side of the leg, of the hind limb. We're going to first start with this video being more of the superficial muscles, and then the next video we have, I will go into more of the deeper muscles. But you get some of these muscles wrapping around the legs from the medial side to the lateral side, and so I wanted to kind of show you both medial and lateral together as one video. Right now, when we're looking at the medial side, we see two main muscles. All right, there are two main muscles here. And the same is going to actually hold true when we look at the lateral side as well. There's going to be another two main muscles. And then between those two main muscles, you're going to have three smaller muscles. And the same is going to hold true when we look at the lateral side of the hind limb. You're going to see the two main muscles and three smaller muscles in between those. So it's really just five muscles that we're going to be learning on each side. The first one we have, which is going to be more posterior, is this muscle here. And it was cut when they skinned the cat, it looks like. And it runs just like this, from here to here. This is going to be gracilis. Gracilis. And we're going to cut through gracilis in a little bit, so I wanted to show it to you before we do that. So this is gracilis on the posterior side. On the anterior side, you're going to have sartorius. Sartorius. And I split my sartorius right there, but sartorius actually runs a little bit higher there, and it actually wraps around to the lateral side of the leg as well. Sartorius. In between sartorius and gracilis, I have three other smaller muscles, and you can see them very clearly here. Here's one, running like this. Here's another, and here's another. These three are going to be adductors, adductors, adductors. The one that's going to be most posterior is going to be adductor femoris. The middle one is adductor longus, and the one most anterior is going to be pectineus. Pectineus, adductor longus, adductor femoris. If you can remember that adductor comes before these two, so this is adductor femoris and adductor longus, if you can remember that, then this is femoris, longus, pectineus. It's in alphabetical order, so that's kind of nice. Might be a nice trick to remembering those. And we'll see those a little bit more clearly when we cut through gracilis, and then later sartorius, we'll see some more muscles deeper to that. Right now, I'll just point out to you that if we were to look behind sartorius, this muscle that we're looking at is a vastus muscle, and in particular, it's vastus medialis. There's another one that we're kind of getting a sneak peek at right now as well, and that's this muscle here. This is semitendinosus. Semitendinosus. So real quick, what I want to do is I want to take my forceps and I put it all the way through sartorius there, from one side to the other. And we'll flip our cat over to the other side. Now we're looking at the lateral side. And so here's my forceps still, and if I pull them out, you can see we're looking at sartorius along that most anterior edge of the muscle. That's not one of the main muscles that we are seeing, but we kind of get a sneak peek of it when we're looking at the lateral side. We can still see it, even though it's more on the medial side there of the leg. Now that we're on the lateral side, we're going to have three main muscles. The first one, which is rather large, is going to be this one right here. And this is going to be biceps femoris. Biceps femoris. Now, once again, we're getting a little bit of a sneak peek of semitendinosus. Here's semitendinosus still. Remember, we saw that when we were looking at the medial side. Here is semitendinosus. I looked at the medial side of the cat. I saw semitendinosus still. Here was gracilis, semitendinosus. Okay, let's come back to this side here, the lateral side. And so here is my biceps femoris. The other main muscle that we have running in the front here is rather unique. It actually isn't that big of a muscle because the muscle is right up here. You can see I've uncovered some of it. There's a lot of this fascia sitting on top of it. So it's a little hard to see. But this muscle here, all the way on the anterior side, remember my posterior side is biceps femoris, all the way on the anterior side, this is going to be my tensor fascia latae. Tensor fascia latae. And the tensor fascia latae attaches to this membrane. You see I'm pulling on it, and it looks very translucent because it's not muscle. This is fascia lata. Fascia lata. This is tensor fascia lata. If I contract this muscle, it tenses this membrane, and that membrane is encapsulating a lot of those vastus muscles that we're about to look at. In between biceps femoris and my tensor fascia lata or tensa fascia, tensa fascia lata or tensa fascia lata or fascia lata. Whew. In between tensor fascia lata, and my biceps femoris, I have three muscles. 1, 2, 3. You can clearly see those lines there. These are going to be my gluteal muscles. My gluteal muscles. The kitty's butt. And if you can remember that this is biceps femoris, the gluteus muscle that's right next to biceps femoris is my gluteofemoralis. Femoralis, femoris. Femoralis, femoris. Biceps femoris, gluteus femoralis. And then in front of gluteus femoralis is going to be gluteus superficialis. And then in front of gluteus superficialis is gluteus medialis. And medialis lies closest to the median line of the cat, so the middle of the cat, gluteus medialis. And lying on top of it, you can see I'm on top of it, is a more superficial muscle, that's gluteus superficialis. The one next to biceps femoris is gluteus femoralis.